2K Sports pregame show.
Hello, Hoops fans. It's the NBA on 2K Sports, along with Kenny, the Jet, the champion, Smith, and Shaquille, the Diesel, the champion several times, O'Neal. I'm your host, Ernie Johnson. For tonight's game, we'll be watching the Detroit Pistons as they go up against the Bulls in Chicago. For Chicago, these guys are playing good basketball with 7 wins in their last 10 games, and they like their chances tonight. And tonight we'll be watching the talented Reggie Jackson take to the floor. One of those players who turns it up a notch in crunch time. Guys, he can be tough to stop. Can't he, Kenny?
He can be. I wonder if he's named after the baseball player.
I don't know. Could be.
He hits a lot of home runs himself, with those three-point shots.
Tell him sit down. Be humble.
Welcome, everyone. Thanks for tuning in to 2K Sports for this NBA presentation. I'm Kevin Harlan alongside Greg Anthony, Steve, and let's go straight over to David Aldridge for a report before the tip-off. Hey, Dave.
Well, guys, Stan Van Gundy has coached.
Thanks, D.A. And Drummond is just a hulk of a man. He's really the backbone of this team. And these teams have no problem, Steve, going to work on the block, working down low. You can expect, I'm sure, a lot of post-ups as we get this one going.
Yeah, they love to play through the post. They look at basketball like the old school way. If we can draw a double team, that opens it up for wide open shots. But they figure the game is won down there in the trenches, right there on the left and the right block.
All right, let's set the floor, courtesy of Gatorade, all fueled up and ready to go. On the court for the Pistons, Bradley and Johnson fill out the perimeter. Inside, it's Harris and Drummond, and it's Jackson in at point guard. On defense, the Pistons, they're coming off that win against the Nets.
And when you shoot a high percentage from distance, that gives you momentum and really keeps the opponent on the ropes.
It does. It keeps the crowd out of it. This is how you win on the road.
Yeah, good awareness there. He sees an opening and doesn't hesitate.
A lot of laziness going on out there. Still early in the game, but that needs to get worked out.
And it's Drummond missing.
Still scoreless after 4 attempts, struggling to find any daylight.
Levine, and 2 free throws coming up, unable to get that one to go with all the contact. That one on Harris.
Well, this Bulls team, the definition of mediocre last season, finished a 41-41 record. They decided it was time to trade away Jimmy Butler and go young.
And so Levine nails both of them. And for the Bulls, some felt they didn't get enough back in return for Jimmy Butler from Minnesota. Smitty, what's your take on that?
Well, the Bulls got younger. They got some shooting, which they really needed. Ask me in a few years after we see how these young fellas develop.
Oh, and the jam by Drummond.
Oh, my, not just a good athlete. Andre is a freakish athlete. Something that really shines when he's creating highlights.
And the replay presented, of course, by Under Armour. Unleash chaos. Great stuff and some great basketball going on. Here's Valentine, and he could not get that one to go. A lot of contact, and he'll go to the line for 2.
Clearly a foul.
Bulls have been perfect at the line so far, albeit just 2 for 2.
Yeah, pretty good numbers on the season when you look at their free throw attempts, right around 78%.
So he gets them both. And in the first, a little over a minute and a half in. Jackson passes to Bradley. Drummond a screen. The baseline J. Bradley with another miss. It's been a quick start here for Chicago. The feed to Markkanen. And it's Grant in the corner. Pass to Levine. Dishes to Lopez. It's Drummond with the rebound.
I like the aggressive move on the layup attempt, but the defender, he just stayed right with him.
And the basket by Harris.
Difficult to stop inside. Harris with the excellent feel and touch around the basket.
Levine against Bradley. And Levine, here we go. And out of bounds, the Pistons will take it.
And we get a chance to check out the numbers for Zach LaVine. He's putting up about 21 points per 4 assists and 3 rebounds. And he's been putting up points with regularity. I mean, that's what they depend on, his killer instinct on offense.
Well, and we've seen defenses try to adjust, but he has the intelligence along with the talent, just finds new ways to beat them.
Here's Bradley. Here's Drummond. The shot goes down and it gets this game back to even.
No, they didn't put enough body on Drummond. He has too much talent for that.
Now the Bulls with it. And here in the first, about 3 minutes in, Levine dishes to Lopez. And you know that's going to be goaltending, guys, so that's a free basket right there.
So close to getting the block there. You can live with those calls because you'd rather have a guy playing aggressive instead of playing it safe.
Jackson kicks to Drummond. Over Lopez. And so he draws the foul on the shot. A trip to the line to shoot 2.
And watching Andre Drummond play, he's really just an old school type center. I mean, he eats up space in the middle and finishes plays in close. Not a skilled guy who can pull a defender away from the basket.
And with Drummond, he does play like towering centers of decades past.
Yeah, I mean, he isn't great at moving the ball around or hitting shots from range, but his size and athleticism are elite and one of the best rebounders in our game.
Levine kicks to Grant. And some nice ball movement here by Chicago. And taken away by Johnson. And here in the first quarter with a little over 3.5 minutes played. And that one's good. Drummond.
In attack mode inside, the best of Drummond comes out when he's being decisive.
Grant kicks to Markkanen. And Levine, here we go. Harris against Grant. Loses his man off the screen and lays it up and in. Grant's got his first points of the night.
And they've scored several times already here in the first quarter on the inside.
On the wing, Johnson from outside the arc. He can't hit that time. And the Bulls going the other way now. And this is their first time matched up with the Pistons this year.
And although they were the better team last year by overall record, this was a competitive matchup for them. Look, you got to keep Markkanen out of the paint. He's just too big on that block and imposes his will.
Drummond the screen. Johnson outside. Bradley passes to Drummond. Kicks it out to Johnson. 4 on the shot clock. Over Levine. That's short off the rim.
He got a good look from the mid-range area. He needs to shoot this one with more confidence.
Kicks it to Valentine. It's Drummond with the rebound. Drummond's got 4 rebounds in this game. And there's the foul. It'll go on Denzel Valentine. That's his first foul. G's checked in for the Bulls. Jackson kicks to Drummond. Back to Jackson. G with the rebound. The Bulls leading by 3. He feeds it to Markkanen. Over Jackson. The offensive rebound. Levine dishes to Markkanen. That's tipped. It's stolen by Bradley. Now here's Bradley, the fast break opportunity. He kicks it to Jackson. Basket good.
Good open look. Avery looking poised with the ball in his hands, making decisions.
The dish now to Valentine. Levine against Bradley. G passes to Markkanen. Now here's Valentine. Defense right on him. Buries the long-range jumper. G's got himself on the board with 3 there.
Unable to close out defensively, even against the smaller shooter.
Yeah, but out on the perimeter, a lot more space. It all evens out.
Stolen by Markkanen. Poked away. Levine with it, and it's Johnson picking him up. And the ball goes out of bounds. Last touch by Johnson. Chicago making some changes. Bobby Portis comes in for Markkanen, and Mirotic subbed in for Denzel Valentine. And Detroit with a change here, too. Smith checked in for Reggie Jackson. Nailed from three-point land.
They've wasted no time settling into their offense.
Smith kicks to Harris. Back to Smith. Drummond a screen. And here's Bradley from three. The Pistons rebound to the middle. Tries to keep it alive. Here's Portis, guarded by Harris. And now the Pistons fast break. Here's Smith. Foul call that time on the way up. That'll give him 2 chances at the free throw line here.
And checking out the numbers for Lopez. He's been fantastic over the last 10 games or so. 2nd in field goal percentage, 4th in blocks. And he's an elite glass eater, a factor inside among the top 10 in rebounds per game.
And you mentioned it, he's the 2nd best shooter in the league right now. Quick trigger with just a little bit better footwork. He could take over that top spot.
You know, last season was a strong one for Ish Smith. He filled in as a starter, and he came off the bench. More of a scoring point guard, but he did a nice job of setting the table for everybody.
Catching up on the changes for Chicago. David Nwaba is checked in for Lopez, and Justin Holiday subbed in for Zach LaVine. Mirotich's shot is off. Pistons trailed by 5. And with Ish Smith, he filled in for Reggie Jackson a lot as a starter last season, and he was terrific. He showed that he can be effective in whatever role you need him. Stan Van Gundy had high praise for him.
Yeah, and what I like about him is that he'll give you production if you play him 5 minutes or 30 minutes. Never loses focus or disappears in a game.
There's a screen by Marjanovic. There's Galloway, guarded by Holiday. And plenty of contact on the shot, so 2 free throws coming up. What an asset to a team when you've got big men who can knock down free throws. Look here at the top centers and power forwards in terms of free throw percentage this season. Tobias Harris 3rd.
And a lot of these big men take the confidence they have in the paint straight to the free throw line with them. I mean, that makes them very hard to handle.
It may earn them a little extra space because you don't want to get physical with these guys. They can make you pay at the line.
Anthony Tolliver. He's checked in for the Pistons. Galloway hits both of them. And while the low post game has lost favor, the high post is still prime turf for a lot of big men. They love to hang out there and do their job. Who do you think are some of the guys who live on the elbows like that succeed?
Well, LaMarcus Aldridge, I think, is one of the best in the business. Blake Griffin is a guy who plays well at that position. They're comfortable. Marc Gasol, Greg Monroe, Anthony Davis, and Karl Anthony Towns. Those guys play all over the floor, but they're very comfortable at catching at the elbow. And you know what? As a big guy at that elbow, if you can show shot, one dribble, you're right at the rim.
And he runs the floor with a purpose that time. Excellent play.
You know what? And a late reaction by the transition D takes it himself uncontested.
Nwaba passes to Portis. Great pass to set up the lay-in. And the Bulls lead by 3.
Timely passing leads to assists, and that's been the recipe for success.
And Lure kicks to Smith. Back to Lure. Over Mirotic. Offensive rebound. Marjanovic got a hand on it. 50 seconds left in the first quarter of the game. Here's Nwaba. Rebounded by the Pistons.
Not sure of the thought process on that one. Really bad shot selection.
Well, you're playing for the team, not just yourself. They needed much better execution that trip down the floor.
Smith the pass to Marjanovic. And Marjanovic with the slam.
And because of his quickness, Ish draws defensive attention, opens up a passing lane to the roller.
5-second differential between the shot clock and the game clock. Holiday at
Terrific.
And guys, that's not as easy as he made it look. You've got to have some skills to pull that off.
Well, he's got plenty of those,
Yes.
that's for sure. There's Galloway, guarded by Holiday. Smith on the wing. From downtown. That one misses. And still a close game as the first quarter comes to a close. Bulls lead by 3. And we'll be back in just a moment with the start of the second quarter. And we got a close game here as we get back to the second quarter. And taking a look at... So it's Chicago now. It's a three-point game. They've got Portis. G is out there at Mirotic. And it's Nwaba in at the 3, the small forward. That's the Bulls 5 as we get into the second quarter. Now here is Holiday. He's guarded closely. Portis kicks to Holiday. And the rejection by Marjanovic. Smith outside. Pass to Lure. Galloway dishes to Lure. Back to Galloway. Lure the screen. Passes it to Smith. The Pistons working the ball around now. The timely screen gave him a step and he took it all the way.
He turned on the Jets. As soon as he got that screen, it went right to the hole. Great decision making there.
Here's Nwaba. He hasn't scored yet. That I'm sure will change. Here's Mirotic. That 3 off the mark.
I'm not sure why he keeps trying his luck from deep here. It's just not his night.
Smith the pass to Marjanovic. And there's the foul. It's on Bobby Portis. That's his first foul. And the Bulls making a change here. Grant's checked in. Here's Galloway, guarded by Holiday. Marjanovic kicks to Smith. Shot clock at 3. Lure can't hit.
No one near him. That's one he's got to hit. One he usually hits.
And the Bad Boy Pistons, perhaps the greatest group this franchise has put together and also one of the most memorable in the history of the NBA. Smitty, you played against some of those guys. What was that like?
Well, first of all, Kevin, I got a chance to grow up in Detroit, watching these guys, being around them, being able to practice. I mean, they were a total tight group. They had some great characters in Lambeer and Rodman and Sally and Dumars and Isaiah and the microwave. But they played extremely hard, and obviously the style of play was defense, rebound, and put you on your butt. A good screen made all the difference. It led to an open look.
Right wing, here's Mirotic, and right away they match it with a three-pointer of their own. Mirotic has got 6.
Trading threes. It's a little bit of that mano right now.
You know, I can't lie. It's fun to watch. Gets the players going and the fans.
Grant against Smith. The 9-foot shot. That one wide left. Chicago leading. Quarter 2 and just under 2.5 minutes gone by. Grant with the ball. Now Smith defending. Holiday dishes to Mirotic. Misses the 3.
Boy, this is rough on him. He wants to help out the team, which is playing well otherwise, but his shot just isn't there.
Tolliver, no luck. For Chicago, they've gotten only one of their first 4 shots in the second quarter to drop. Grant, that's good. Pistons trail by 4. Now about 3 minutes gone in this second quarter of basketball. Smith against Grant. Smith the pass to Marjanovic. Banked in off the glass.
I mean, the number of points they've scored in the paint already here is eye-opening.
Grant outside. And Holiday kicks to Portis. Poked away. Grant outside. Now the pass to Nwaba. Offline with his 3. The Pistons have gone 50% from the floor in the second quarter, 3 of 6. Here's Tolliver. Mirotic grabs the miss. Mirotic has got his 4th rebound with that last one here tonight. Takes it from 10, and he gets contact and the whistle on the shot. 2 shots coming up. And there's the foul against Detroit.
And the European Mirotic, very crafty in terms of how he draws fouls.
First trip to the line for him here. Hey, Steve, when Mirotic came over to the NBA, he had an immediate impact and showed a lot of promise to grow. Unfortunately, he has been stagnant since his strong rookie season. Any idea why?
Mirotic is just a bit of what you see, what you get kind of player. Not terribly consistent game to game or shot to shot. Can stretch the floor, but doesn't give you much else.
The shot. And it's off the back rim, no good.
And that's a surprise. He's usually deadly from mid-range.
Markkanen kicks to Levine. And the jam by Levine.
Up in the rafters, Zach LaVine climbs the ladder as quickly as anyone.
And he was fouled on the way up. 2 free throws now for him. It's going to go on Nikola Mirotic.
And you know what? You allow a guy to get right to the rim like that. That's your only option.
And Stanley Johnson, the youngster out of Arizona, grew up in Los Angeles where he was the high school player of the year. You know, Steve, he hasn't had the easiest time adjusting to the NBA, but he certainly has room to improve. And right now the offense just isn't there for him.
You know, the question is, people are saying, is time ticking away for Stanley to prove that he's a rotation player? He's kind of predictable on offense. People pushes him to go right because he only goes right. Just hasn't developed the way the team was hoping for.
Here's Mirotic, and it's sent back by Drummond.
The foot speed to get in position, the quickness of the jump. Drummond with raw talent as a shot blocker.
Johnson with it, now defended by Levine. And that's a foul called on Lauri Markkanen. That's his first foul. On defense, the Bulls, they lead by 4.
And the shots just continue to say no in terms of falling.
Here's Mirotic. And again, Zach LaVine. LaVine's got 6.
I love the effort there. Refuses to give up on that play.
To the paint, stolen by Markkanen. Here's Mirotic. That's good, and it's LaVine with the assist. LaVine's got 3 assists now in this one.
Starting to heat up now. He nailed 1 from behind the arc in the first quarter, 2 here in the second.
Here's Drummond. Offensive rebound. Yes, it's good. Good for basket number 4. He's now 4 for 10.
And the rebound and the follow show you what he is all about. Gritty and determined with a soft touch to match.
Kept alive. Feeds to Markkanen. Goes back up. And oh boy, a lot of contact there, but he gets the call and will shoot 2.
And Markkanen is a perfect candidate for that stretch 4. Outstanding at pulling the trigger from deep and not afraid to go inside and bang with the other bigs.
You know, Smitty, you had a long career. What was it, 14, 15 seasons you played for the Spurs, who've led the way on resting players and certainly extending their careers.
Yeah, it is, Kevin, but it's hard for me because I look at it as from a fan standpoint. When I played and now, you know, you have that kid and his dad coming to the game, and he doesn't get a chance to see that star player. And a lot of times there's 2 or 3 guys that sit out. I understand the rest is needed because it's a long term, but I wish guys could find a way, and coaching staff and organization, maybe have rest days as far as practice, but let the guys play because kids want to see their stars play.
Right, but in the middle of your career, are you thinking, hey, I want to play long term so this rest is good? Or are you saying, forget the rest, I want to play?
I just want to play. I mean, I think one thing is I never thought about long term. I just wanted to play the game that was in front of me, the practice that was in front of me, the preseason game that was in front of me. You just wanted to play.
Really left alone that time. Now just a 5-point Bulls lead.
And defensively, you have to close out fast on Harris in that in-between area.
Some nice ball movement by the Bulls. And LaVine, here we go. And LaVine throws it down.
Yeah, I mean, maybe could have tried for a more memorable dunk than that one.
And we know he's capable of those memorable ones. Bradley kicks to Harris. Harris a screen on Mirotic. Jackson against Mirotic. And Mirotic sends it back. And he's able to get it back. Count that one. The Bulls' lead has been cut down now to just 5 on the basket from Jackson. Levine dishes to Valentine. The feed to Lopez. He can't get it to go. And it's Detroit the other way. And Reggie Jackson, the Boston College Eagle, when he is on the floor, you can see how he acts as a spark plug for his team. Steve, a very creative player whose big strength is getting things going on offense.
And wherever Reggie's been, he's been great in that role of catalyst. When he's injured, you can see how the offense changes. Very underrated as a playmaker in this league.
G's checked in for Mirotic. And there are a few players in the NBA who can match Reggie Jackson with the fearless approach he takes to the game. He'll always look to take that big shot, Steve, and goes right at bigger defenders and doesn't blink.
When you're Jackson's size, you have to have that mentality. Always looking for a way to attack a defense. Doesn't always work out, but the aggression he plays with never dies.
The Bulls have gone 9 of 10 from the line, so making the most of their chances. That's good from Lopez.
And for a center, Robin Lopez is definitely one of the better free throw shooters in the league.
That one is no good. Pistons trail by 4. Johnson kicks to Bradley. He dishes it to Drummond. They set the pick. Pass to Harris. Tries again. Nice touch on the shot from close range. Harris has got 6.
It can be deceiving. The quickness of Harris's first step, nice.
Levine kicks to G. That's good, and it's Levine with the assist. Levine's got 4 assists now tonight.
And just showing you his determination despite the size difference.
And he makes the little adjustment just as he goes to lay it in.
Bradley somehow ignores the tight D and gets the way up. Bradley's got his first basket of the night.
And what I like about Avery at the guard position, he's unafraid to challenge the interior.
And it's sent back by Drummond. Dishes it to Bradley. Over Valentine. And staying with the play, Harris. Harris has got it all tied up now for the Pistons.
It's been their Achilles heel defensively. They just have not been able to control that backboard.
And it's sent back by Drummond. To the middle and stolen by Drummond. And now the Pistons fast break. Bradley's got the ball. He goes up again. And oh boy, a lot of contact there, but he gets the call and will shoot 2. It's on Lauri Markkanen.
With a nice combination of strength and elusiveness, Harris makes things difficult for the defenders inside.
And Tobias Harris, the former Tennessee Volunteer. You would think a player who has been so efficient, Steve, on offense his whole career wouldn't have bounced around as much as he has.
It is surprising how much he's changed teams. Always a factor on offense, and he doesn't need many touches. If I'm a coach, I love to have him as an option.
Here's what Chicago's going with right now. Bobby Portis comes in for Markkanen, and Justin Holiday subbed in for Levine. Holiday, the pass to G. Yes, and it's Holiday with the assist that time. 8 points for G.
Assists like that have typified their effort today. Terrific ball movement.
Jackson dishes to Drummond. They set the pick. Looking to end his cold spell, and it's Bradley laying it in. Bradley's got 4 points in the quarter.
Every time they get scored on during this run, it's come from inside the paint.
6-second difference between the shot and game clock. G kicks to Valentine. He feeds it to Holiday. Shot clock at 5. Chicago needs to get off a shot here. Portis can't get it to go. Here's Galloway. And we're through the first half of basketball here in what's been a good one. It's Detroit up 1. And now we'll send it over to David Aldridge, who is standing by courtside. David.
Thanks, Kevin. Zach, a hard-fought first half. What changes have to be made to get a little separation?
They're making tough shots. We're trying to stick to our concept, so we got to come back, make plays, make shots. And
all right, Dave, thank you. And time now for the halftime break with the third quarter soon to follow, right here on 2K Sports.
It's the 2K Sports Halftime Show.
And an exciting first half indeed. Welcome back. I'm Ernie Johnson. It was a closely contested first quarter for Detroit. They kept at it on both ends of the floor, and at the end of the period, they had a slight deficit of 3 points. They battled hard in the second quarter, and it was reflected on the scoreboard. Kenny, what's your take on Detroit so far?
You can see where the priorities are. Rebounding, and then more rebounding. They made a concerted effort to get the glass cleaned.
How about you, Shaq? What did you think about Chicago?
They played some solid team basketball, Arnie. Pretty good. They were sharing the ball. We saw some nice feeds, a lot of movement. It wasn't 5 individuals out there. It was one cohesive unit, and they got the assist to show for it. Their rhythm was nice.
And now, folks,
welcome back to the hustle and bustle of Chicago, a time-lapse view of all the traffic heading toward downtown. Chicago trailing here. Checking out the group for Stan Van Gundy to start the second half. Jackson and Bradley are in the backcourt. Johnson and Harris are at the forward spots. And it's Drummond in at the center, locking down the middle.
Right there, the burst of Zach LaVine. Once he gets a step on you, it's hard to catch up.
Stolen away. Nice job to interrupt the alley-oop attempt there. Grant the pass to Markkanen. The shot that time, not on target. Some solid defense from Harris.
More good work on the glass there. When it's all said and done, I think rebounding might tell the story in this game.
And, well, Detroit shooting just 39% from the field, struggling to find that net. Jackson dishes to Bradley. Drummond working against Lopez. Outside Jackson. 5 to shoot.
I like the defense there by Zach. Stays aware and gets himself in perfect position.
Kicks to Markkanen. In the corner, it's LaVine. There's the dish to Lopez. And the shot goes in. Lopez has got 7 points in the game.
They didn't have much of a problem getting the ball into the post that time.
Grant against Jackson. Stolen by Grant. Here's LaVine. And the layup is good. LaVine's got 4 points now in the quarter.
A solid beginning to this second half offensively. 3 for 4 from the floor.
Drummond sets the screen for Bradley. Johnson kicks to Drummond. Over Lopez. Will not go. This is off the front iron. Bean passes to Valentine. 2 minutes gone in this third quarter now. To the inside. It's stolen by Johnson. And that's a foul called on Lauri Markkanen. That will get him his 4th foul of the game. Smith checked in for the Pistons. Pistons trailed by 5. And last season, the final season for the Pistons, Smitty, playing at the Palace of Auburn Hills, as much as you love the new arena, it's always sad to say goodbye to an old friend. What was it like playing at the Palace of Auburn Hills, Steve, when you were in the game?
You know, I loved it because I'm from Detroit, the hometown, and those guys had that place rocking. It was state of the art when they first built it. But if you look right now, is because I'm a Detroit native, they're playing inside of Detroit. The pass is a pass, but it was a great pass.
David Nwaba is checked in for Chicago. And Detroit with a change here, too. John Lure, he's checked in for Tobias Harris.
A 5-star recruit out of high school, Drummond, one of the more talented centers we have in the game.
Nwaba kicks to Markkanen. Grant dishes to Markkanen. Count it. He's got 6.
And of the last 6 baskets, 5 have come on the interior. This is just smash mouth physical basketball, guys.
Drummond with a screen on Grant. Here's Smith. It's deflected. They retain possession. And the shot is good. The Chicago lead has been cut down now to just 2 points with that basket from Andre Drummond. Grant kicks to Markkanen. Bulls moving the ball around. Back to Grant. Pass to Nwaba. Basket is good, and he'll get a chance for one more at the free throw line.
I don't know what's happening defensively, but they're not putting up any resistance.
Mirotic is checked in for Robin Lopez. And a switcher also for Detroit. Marjanovic is checked in. Smitty, you call college basketball games as well. We know you had a terrific career in East Lansing with Michigan State. We're starting to hear from some players, Ben Simmons for one, critiquing the college basketball system for the financial setup and the stringent eligibility rules. Do you give any credence to these complaints? Is the kid right? What changes you think might be made? It's a loaded question with a lot of answer, I'm sure, to it, but it's certainly on the tip of a lot of people's tongue right now.
And I think it should be. You've had some coaches coming out and saying there's some kind of way to be able to change this system and be able to benefit some of these players. I look at it some way, Kevin, where there's some kind of way you have an insurance policy for these guys, or some kind of way that they'll be able to finish their degree, even go on to finish their master's degree as long as they want from any college, not just the college they came from. And I also think some kind of way there should be some kind of financial stipend for these guys.
Smith kicks to Lure. Johnson the screen. Lure the pass to Brantley. Kicks it out to Johnson. From outside, off the mark. The Bulls leading by 4. Passes it to Mirotic. Stolen by Lure. And here comes Smith, leading the fast break. Shoots over Grant. Misses off the right iron.
This is how it's been so far. He's missed every shot he's taken, and the team is suffering the consequences.
Now, here is Mirotic. He's got 11. Outside Brantley. And the pass to Marjanovic. Smith outside. Brantley kicks to Smith. Floats one up, and Mirotic sends it back. Here's Nwaba. Taking a look at his numbers, he averages about 7 points a game. They set the pick. Back to Grant. From beyond the arc. Good on the triple. Grant's got his 3rd basket of the night right there. Pistons trail by 7. Smith outside. He kicks to Brantley. Rebound by the Bulls. Mirotic has got 8 rebounds in this game. Levine dishes to Markkanen. Second shot opportunity. Rebound by the Pistons.
No doubt it's been a bit of a struggle for him here in this quarter in terms of scoring.
Johnson, the pass to Smith.
And being over the limit this early really can affect your aggressiveness defensively. They have got to play under control.
He's gone 2 for 2 at the line so far.
Numbers this year at the line below 70, so when he's getting to the line, not nearly as effective as you'd like.
You know, the way he plays the game, he's always in attack. This is the one area I think he definitely has to improve on in his career. Ish Smith is knocking down free throws.
Here's what Chicago's going with right now. Portis, he's checked in for Markkanen. Justin Holiday comes in for Levine. And G's subbed in for Grant. And Mirotic has it in the corner. Oh, good with the triple.
He's trying to shoot his way out of this slump, but it's not to be.
Here's Galloway. Shot goes down. Very quick possession right there. Galloway has got 7.
Serve and the defense there. He makes a terrific read.
Outside Holiday. And Mirotic kicks to Holiday. And G has it in the corner. Yes, and it's Holiday with the assist that time. And that's 11 points for G.
And those aren't the type of three-point opportunities that you can allow in the NBA.
Feeds it to Galloway. Pass to Marjanovic. Down to 5 on the shot clock. Lays it up and banks it in. 6 points for him. You know, Stephen, I think of Stan Van Gundy, I think of versatile, because we all know he's the head coach of the Detroit Pistons, but he's in charge of all their personnel moves, too. This guy's got a lot on his plate.
Yeah, he does. I mean, when you start to look at it, he's wearing 2 hats. And one thing, he's doing a good job trying to run this organization from a management standpoint and also from a coaching standpoint. So far, so good for Stan.
Detroit making a switch here. Harris is checked in. Good on both. Here's Galloway. He has 7. They set the screen. Here is Tolliver, covered by Mirotic. 6 on the shot clock. 16 feet away. That is good. And the Bulls' lead is cut down to just 4 points in the bucket from Smith.
Always a good sign for Smith. Getting the jumper to fall sets up other parts of his game.
Stolen by Lure. Now here is Smith. Not a lot of room. That's tipped. Now the feed to G. Pass to Portis. And some nice ball movement here by Chicago. Holiday dishes to Mirotic. 1:51 left in the third quarter. He feeds it to G. Here's Mwaba. But they'll get another chance. Harris outside. He dishes it to Smith. That's tipped. Out of bounds. Pistons ball as Detroit keeps possession. Valentine's checked in for the Bulls. Then for the Pistons, Drummond comes in for Anthony Tolliver. And Reggie Jackson subbed in for Ish Smith. And stolen by Mirotic. G passes to Valentine. It's stolen by Harris. Now Detroit moving it up. That shot off. Now Chicago takes it the other way. Their biggest lead of the game was 9. The kick out to Holiday. Lets the 3 fly. Rebound Andre Drummond. Pistons trail by 4. Outside Jackson. Dishes it to Lure. Kicks it to Harris. Passes it to Drummond. And that one drops for him. Drummond's got 18 points in the game.
Well, we've seen that movie a few times, haven't we? An easy bucket in the paint.
G kicks to Mirotic. Now here's Valentine. Guarded by Harris. The dish to Mirotic. 3-pointer. But they'll get another chance. Here's G. He's got 11. And Mirotic has it in the corner. Buries it from 3-point range. He's got 14.
Continuing from where he left off. First 3-pointer of this half, 4th of the game.
Now here's Jackson. D right on him. The pass to Galloway. Taken away by Holiday. Gets it off. No good trying to beat the buzzer. And we've reached the end of the third. Bulls lead by 5. From the United Center in Chicago. Back in a moment. And now let's take a listen to Stan Van Gundy on a recent huddle.
Just relax and play the game. Relax and play the game. Relax and play the game.
In case they forgot that, of course, from very invigorating words from Stan Van Gundy, repeating what he'd like to see more of them right now.
Yeah, and I think Coach feels they're getting too caught up in things that don't matter. Resetting their mindsets here. But let's see if it helps.
We welcome you back to what has been a good one here as we get into the fourth quarter. Portis is out there with Robin Lopez. Then it's G. Then there's Valentine. And it's Holiday in at the 2 guard. So that's the 5 in the game for Chicago.
Because he's a terrible free throw shooter, when Drummond gets the ball in a spot he likes, teams look to foul him.
And he knocks down the first one. For several years, you've looked at Andre Drummond, and the first word that comes to mind is potential. He is still learning, still developing, certainly, but you know, you wonder, Steve, if he's starting to approach the type of player he's going to be in Plateau.
You know, let's be clear. He's a great player, but people might have overshot what he could have been. Needs to play with a bit more urgency, but he's still young, and he can make another leap in his play.
And that one misses. Good on the second free throw.
It's important to stretch this lead out as much as possible right now, and that's exactly what he did there.
Pistons trail by 5. Outside Jackson. He kicks it to Galloway. Feeds it to Drummond. Clock at 4. Over Lopez. And it's Drummond missing. Chicago leading by 5. Valentine dishes to G. Pass to Valentine. There's the feed to Lopez. Holiday with the 3. Gets the 3-pointer to fall. Holiday's got 4 points now in the quarter.
The defense is far too slow to close out on those 3-point attempts.
Outside Jackson. Launches it. That's good, and so Galloway with the assist. And that's now 9 points for Reggie Jackson.
You know, a little inconsistent from deep when he first entered the league. Jackson now an emerging 3-point threat.
G kicks to Holiday. In the corner, Valentine with it. Pass to G. Holiday dishes to G. Now here's Valentine. Guarded by Bradley. And it's sent back by Drummond. Now here's Bradley, the fast break opportunity. Here's Jackson. Drills the baseline jumper.
Breakdown by the defense there. Jackson, a solid mid-range shooter. You like to push him out further.
Stolen by Jackson. Now Detroit moving it up. Jackson's got the ball, and he could not get that one to go. A lot of contact, and he'll go to the line for 2.
No question, he got bumped on that shot. And Avery Bradley won the national high school title at Findlay Prep and was considered a top 5 prospect. Some had him even at number 1, and still after one season at Texas, he fell to the Celtics at 19 in that 2010 draft.
The free throw drops for Jackson. And Bradley, a great athlete. He won the dunk contest in high school, terrific player, but he's not a big highlight player, it seems, in the NBA, Greg.
Yeah, you know, his strength and explosiveness more on display defensively, and that's been his meal ticket. He's added skill, though. He's turned the corner and has become a two-way threat.
Grant kicks to Levine. Back to Grant. Kick out to Levine. Offensive struggles continue, missing again. And there's the foul. It'll go on Jaren Grant. That'll be his second foul of the game. The Pistons have gone 2 of 4 from the field since we started the final quarter of play. Drummond a screen, and there's the foul. It'll go on Jaren Grant. That's his 3rd foul of the game.
And the next one puts him in the bonus.
Here's Jackson. He feeds it to Drummond. That's good, and it's Jackson with the assist that time. Drummond's got 21.
And this is what can happen when Drummond gets